Okay, if you haven't noticed, it's the exact same shot because I am doing these back to back. Like I said, I'm doing each and every episode pretty much in one go. I'm just splitting it up with A and B because I feel like each one deserves to be talked separately, so I can dive a little bit more into this. So this is episode 1B, Best Fronds. We're doing puns, yeah. I know last one, Ann or Beast, was a pun, but I mean, this one's really more of a pun than the. So, again, this is pretty much picking up right where we left off, and actually, no, we don't pick up right where we left off. Like, Ann, we have a flashback moment or a dream sequence where we see Ann shoplifting the music box from a thrift store, and we see her two friends outside the window giving her like the thumbs up, like yeah, 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 like, you know, kids being kids and being like, yeah, we're gonna rebel, yeah, and it's like, okay, yeah. So, and pretty much they just cut to the scene where they're on a park bench and they just open up the box, and then the flash, and they get sucked in, and then Anne wakes up, and pretty much, yeah, so she feels very homesick, and because it makes sense. She's stuck in this world pretty much. So she has no idea what she wants to do, but then Sprig kind of wants to cheer her up, being, like she wants to, he wants to help her bond, or help her, just basically he wants a friend, and they show him trying to make some friends, and each one gets a little more creepier than the other, and it like reminds me a little bit about Luce in Yao House, now come to think of it. And again, a lot of similar, you can definitely compare and contrast the differences between Amphibia and the Owl House from this. And I'm not saying like I mean, right now, because I've seen the whole first season of The Owl House, I like The Owl House a lot better. But considering some of the episodes I've seen so far of Amphibia, I can tell there's a lot to this. And I don't know, I can't really determine at this point if I'm gonna like Amphibia more than The Owl House, but right now, The Owl House is definitely, I like The Owl House because I've seen the whole thing through, and I really like the character story and world more. But again, this might be up there for me. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I mean, again, this is the first episode. I'm just watching through the first episode right now, so please don't give me hate for this. I think this is, from what I've heard, this is a really really good. This is a really great show, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'm excited to catch up with the rest of the fan base and see how they feel about all this. So yeah, this is pretty much, yeah. So Sprig, yeah, wants to cheer up, he wants to be friends with Anne, and so they're like, well, what should we do? And then Anne's like, well, we can go to the is there a beach? And yeah, Sprig's like, of course there's a beach. But then Hop is like, oh no, you don't. And he's basically like, considering all the chaos you caused yesterday, we can't let you just go out and cause more chaos. So he locks them in the house, but then, like the old man he is, he falls asleep. Well, it's so weird. So to start, he's reading a book called "So You're a Failed Actor." The in joke on that, because like I said in the last video, it's Bill Farmer who voices Goofy, so the joke in that being like, he's not a failed actor. But it's like, but Hop Pop is like, wait, what does that mean for Hop Pop then? And then they take it a step further with like Anne and Spring are trying to take the key, but then they realize, oh wait, he's asleep. But he's not like asleep like this, like he's like asleep like this. He's just sleeping with his eyes open. He's like, and I'm like, I mean, I've seen that a few times where it's like, oh, he's sleeping. They're like, oh, they're sleeping with their eyes open. It's like, this one is just creepy because it really just comes out of nowhere. It's like, because again, I like the way they take a trope and then they add something weird to it, like the last one being like, oh, what have I ever done? What have I ever been blank? And then they added something with that. This one, it's like, oh, he's asleep with his eyes open. So yeah, so they steal the key and they go to the lake, and while they're there, while they're doing it, Anne is kind of like talking about, everything that she, like, what do friends do? Oh, friends do. They go to them, they compliment thing. They do, they, like, a few of the things she says, it's like, yeah, that's what friends do. But then she adds stuff like, if a friend likes your shoes, then you give them your shoes. And it's like, okay. So in that kind of like shows that maybe this friendship, there's something between the three friends that maybe isn't good. So so they go to the lake and there's a don't swim sign, and at first, they're kind of bummed, but then Anne is persistent. She wants to she wants to go in and swim, but if Sprig's like, oh, no, this sign wouldn't be, this sign hasn't been here before, which means there is something up with this. And Anne's like, well, come on, that's just nonsense. I mean, she really, and then, like I said, she kind of goes deeper into the things about what being a friend is and all that. And so she's like, then she kind of drops this, like, if a friend tells you to go into a thrift store and steal a music box, you do it for them. Because if you don't, they may not want to be your friend anymore. Yep, that was a thing. So, yeah, so it kind of gets a little bit crazier, and so they go in. Well, I mean, Sprig kind of like gives Sprig the edge to go in with Anne to swim in the lake. And what's weird is Anne's hair, like, she has leaves in her hair, it's kind of messy, and yet even when she goes into the lake and starts swimming around and she goes underwater and comes up from the water, their leaves in the hair is still messy. Like, the leaves are still there, the hair is still messy. It's like, what the heck? I mean, I don't know if that's just trolling on the audience or what, but I mean, But eventually, yeah, they figure out why the lake is off limits, because there's a giant snake, and so it definitely gets a little crazy there. So Anne kind of realizes that she screwed up with that, because she and Sprig are trying to get away from the snake, but it keeps cutting them off, and they don't know what to do. But then Sprig gets this idea, and so earlier in the episode, when they're stuck in the house, they're like, oh, what can we do? Sprig's like, oh, we can try some of these hot peppers that are so high you wish you were dead. Like, and then he eats one of them, and then, like, his throat just burns up, and he's like, please, I wish someone end me, please. It's so, I really like this kid. I really like this kid. Like, he does it, and I think it's just the way he delivers these lines, because you could easily have these lines sound so stupid. Like, they're stupid. Some of the lines are stupid, but they're funny. Like, you could have them be stupid and be like, oh, that was, oh, it's like cringy, and it's like, God, just get away, get away. So I like how he's kind of funny, and even the way I like how he takes responsibility in these episodes, like in this one, because Anne admits that she screwed up and that she shouldn't have forced Sprig into doing it, and then Sprig's like, oh, it's okay, but I got an idea. So he jumps, and at first it seems like a psychotic move, because he jumps up and gets himself eaten by the snake. And it's like, what? So then I love Anne just screams, vengeance! And then tries to attack the snake, but then Sprig reveals why he got himself eaten by the snake, and it's kind of like the classic go in and take him out from the inside kind of shtick, because he gives the snake the peppers when he's inside its mouth, and so of course the snake freaks out, spits Sprig out, and just runs and then swims away in just terror and pain and suffering. And then Sprig repeats like, "So hot, you wish you were dead." Yeah, God, it's just so bad. I mean, I'm not a strong guy when it comes to spices. I think the hottest thing I've ever had were, let's see, I'd say I'd say in around the yellow area. Like, you have green, you have yellow, you have orange, you have red, and then you have burning red. I think I'm like somewhere in the yellow is probably the hottest I've ever had. So yeah, that shows how weak I am. So Sprig and Anne go back to the house, and Hop Hop is still sleeping, but he gives the key and gives him the key back and says, "Oh, you dropped this when you were when you were going in, but we didn't want to do anything." So Hop Hop's like, "Oh, okay." And oh yeah, Polly in this episode, she's very untrustworthy of Anne. Like, she's like she can eat us, and then by the end of the episode, she's like, "You're not gonna eat us, are you?" So yeah, it seems everything's good, and Anne's she's feeling a little bit better now that she has a friend in this world, and of course she's still wanting to make sure that her friends that are her other friends are okay. Sasha and Marcy. Every time I hear Sasha, I just think of Basha from Owl House now, and that kind of gets me wondering: is Sasha gonna be kind of like the friend that eggs her on to do this stuff, like Basha did in the Owl? Please tell me that's not what happens, because then it's like Sasha, Basha. It's like, were you guys just sitting there together, just talking about the shows you were making, just like giving each other ideas? It's like, that's not how this one went. So, but Sasha and Marcy are Anne's other friends that are stuck in this world. We don't see what happened with Marcy, but we do get to see what's going on with Sasha. So, because they cut to this dark castle in a stormy night, and I don't think it's in the same region as Anne. I don't think, because based off of what we see in the location, it kind of doesn't look like the same area. But this dark frog then shows Sasha Anne's other shoe, which I completely forgot to mention in the last episode. Anne only has one shoe on. Like, she has one shoe, and the other one is just her sock. So, like, in this episode, we find out where that other shoe went, and so we know Anne's probably not going to get it back for the time, because it's with this dark frog in this dark castle where Sasha's captured. And the frog says, "We know you're now we know you've been lying. We know there are more like you here." So it's interesting. It's interesting to see that, because we don't hear Sasha say any words. All we just hear is what he said. So apparently Sasha got captured, and they were interrogating her, and she said, "It's just me." So we don't know, but more will come. Yet. Yeah, and it's definitely a moment like that where it's like, okay, there's something. But what's interesting about these kind of moments where it's like, oh, they reveal something like, oh, there's this dark thing that will come into play, like in the intro, when they show that moment in the intro where it's there's a storm, and you see the picture of Anne, Marcy, and Sasha hanging on a branch, and they have that dark moment, and it's like, it's that reminder being like, yeah, it's not just Anne stuck in this world, it's these two as well. They're all stuck here, and who knows what'll happen. So it's a pretty cool idea to kind of remind the audience, like, yeah, you have these bright, colorful things going on, but there's also this dark, overarching story going on, because they stumbled upon this world, but they have no way back. Whereas Luce in the Owl House, she stumbled upon a magical world, but she had a way back. It was just the fact that she destroy the way back in order to save her friends, that kind of emphasized her story or her character a little bit more. This one, it's like they're stuck here and they don't know how to get back. So yeah. And then yeah, so pretty much the episode ends with Sasha at the castle, and like I said, pretty much sets up this dark possible storyline that I'm guessing is a pretty good storyline based off of what we're seeing. And then we have the outro, which is, it's not, I'll say that it's more peaceful. I really like this outro because it's peaceful. It's just what's in the shot is Anne and Spring just lying on the ground, lying down, looking up at the stars. It's like, and you just have this nice little beat, and you can hear all the things in the back, like hear the creatures of the night, just like you hear crickets and all that stuff, and it's like, it's super peaceful, and it's, it's like, I'm not saying that the Owl House outro isn't bad or anything, or it's, again, I like these different comparisons, like the Owl House intro, it's like, it's loose, moving throughout the world that she's in, and you hear all the music, and it's super upbeat, and it's super cool, and it matches with where she is, and then it ends with this nice tone. And like I said, when I saw the season finale, I got teary-eyed when I saw it, because I'm like, wow, this is really, it really hits you. This one, you feel more relaxed. You feel like you get that break of like watching an episode, and you're like, yeah, very peaceful, very, very nice, and it's cool. It's a nice way to wrap up an episode. And so, again, TJ Hill, this guy's really good. This guy, I keep saying he's good because, I mean, I really, if you guys have noticed in a few of my videos, like the music, some of it's my own music. I'm not a full-on musician. I'm definitely not a full-on musician. Who am I kidding? I played the clarinet in not in high school. I played the clarinet in elementary school. That should say how much of a musician I am. But I've been able to use some software to create my own beats, and trying to experiment with the different things. Mainly guitar and piano are my main two right now, because I feel like those are really two solid beats to work with. I mean, I'm trying to experiment with other instruments. With the music that I am doing for the Owl House comics that I've been doing up recently, those have been really just, I feel like those just the pianos and the guitar rather than maybe violins. I don't know. It's complicated for me. Like I said, I'm not a musician, so I don't know what musics will fully continue. I am going way off topic with this. This is a fun episode. I really enjoyed it. Really hope there's more to come. And can't wait to see the rest of the series. Like I said, I've been going into these episodes. I'm on episode 4 right now, and pretty sure I'm not gonna stop. I mean, hopefully I don't get too much into this where I have to go to like A and B being on separate days. I really hope that doesn't happen. I feel like at this point I should be able to get a grip on this. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you all in the next video.